Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live chat. I see you all there. Special welcome to all the members. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for Nancy, too, who's here today. I think she's going to be steering the ship today. All right, everybody. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing, touch on my 35 years in this cult, leaving with 3 generations of my family. And as if that weren't enough, I get to do one of my favorite things, which is to sit down with people and do interviews within the community. So when you hit the subscribe button, be sure to set the notification bell so you can get a notification for when I jump in live. And everybody who is fabulously already here, please hit that like button so we can make it rain notifications around here. You know how much I love that. Thank you so much. Oh, sometimes I just want to get lost in the chat. And then I'm like, nope, gotta work. We got a lot to cover and not a lot of time. So first, I want to kick it off by saying thank you so much to Vanessa Winbury for becoming a member of the channel. Hip, hip, hooray. Everybody do it with me. Hip, hip, hooray. You know what feels more natural to me is more of a shimmy. The shoulder thing, I don't know. Tony does it well. Me, not so much. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm only doing one side. We have to perfect it. We need a new member, like little dance, and it's just not in my wheelhouse. So if anybody has an idea, do a little video of it, shoot it over to me, and let's see if we can solve this problem. For now, we are going to jump into, of course, we have protest news, but we also have some of my other favorite topics in Scientology, which is celebrity gossip. Rebecca Minkov is up to some stuff and a cast member is throwing some shade. We are going to talk about that. We are going to get into some backstory about the Scientology uniform. We've been talking a little bit about that, like what's up with that uniform? Who had that bright idea? Was this side-checked or surveyed by anyone? Well, we have a little bit more information on that, which we're going to get into. But we're going to start off by taking a look. We went in the Wayback Machine. Somebody sent me this from the Wayback Machine. This is a little video that was done. It makes me feel ancient to say this. This is from MC LARS, is the channel, 17 years ago. I'm like, I had to stop and think, like, was YouTube around 17 years ago? Is that really it? Have I lost that much track of time? How has this happened? But take a look at this.
Hit me. Party at the Church of Scientology.
Let me drop some science on Scientology. Elron Hubbard's weird sci-fi philosophy.
They cloud theology and top secrecy, technology, mythology, and no apology.
1952 was when it all began. Started on a bet by a frustrated man.
His books weren't selling, so Elron thought fast. He started his own religion and make a lot of cash.
Alien rulers, past lives tone scales, copywritten text, and scary emails.
Shutting up the critics, core battles left and right, mysterious deaths in the middle of the night.
Personality tests, e-meters narking on, Times Square recruitment from dusk to dawn.
All this from the guy who wrote Battlefield Earth. Submission for a fee, let's see what your soul's worth. There's a place in Florida where you got friends. What help you present if you...
Okay, so there is a little bit more to it. I'm going to put all the links down below so you guys can see everything in full. I don't think I've done that yet. Nancy, if you could help me remember to add the links at the end, because I got to run out of here at the end, but I want to make sure I do that, and I can't remember if I did. Right, Kim? I thought it was hilarious. It was a little bit of a throwback, but yeah, 17 years ago that was made. Love it. I just love it. I love it. You know, I love the fun. Okay, so let's go forward in the time machine to today, where Saul Goodman, YT, you guys know him here in the chat. He pops in. We've seen him out there in San Francisco protesting Scientology. And was he also in LA? I don't remember. Tell me in the chat. If you're catching this on the replay, no slacking for you. You jump in those comments and tell me what's up. I think he might have also been in LA. Anyways, he made this little ditty called Found Our Truth. And, got the little squirrel on it. Take a look.
In a world of shadows where the lies are sold, we found ourselves trapped. We played the roles, but the truth would break us all. It set us free. from the chains of Scientology. We found clarity. We stand tall, rising above it all, breaking free from the walls they.
Anyways, you'll be able to see the whole thing when I put those clips down below, but it's hilarious. I got to tell you guys, there cannot be too many original songs about Scientology and everything around it. Let me just tell you. So you creative people out there who can do the things with however you do it in GarageBand or whatever, come up with that original music and song. Send it to me, Natalie at lifeaftercult.com. Better yet, actually, post it on YouTube. Send me a link to it then so I can link to your channel because I just love it. Can't get enough of it. And yeah, we are due for some new ditties. I think that makes sense. But anyways, let's talk about a little bit about Tori MAGOO 44. For those that don't know, Tori MAGOO 44 is a treasure in this community. She has been protesting Scientology since, oh my gosh, now we're talking over 2 decades. And she was someone who volunteered and worked for the dirty trick arm of Scientology, the Office of Special Affairs. Yeah. They got that fancy name, but it's pretty much dirty tricks, dirty tricks, dirty tricks. So Tori crossed that protest line, joined the protest, and has been speaking out against Scientology ever since. She has the best stories, you guys. And she does these YouTube videos. I think it's like Midnight with MAGOO. So she does them in West Coast time, close to midnight. So some of you can catch it live if you're night owls or catch it on the replay. But her stories are amazing. And she was talking about, she brought up a really interesting point that really kind of made me go, oh my goodness, what do I think about this? So we're going to just play it a little bit and then let's talk about it.
Did Travolta think that the TRs got him the role in that show? I don't think so. I mean, I think Travolta literally was a good actor. And any of the guys that are celebrities that are in Scientology, I think most of it was from their own talent. It wasn't really Scientology. I mean, they can say it is, just like I used to always say, people say, God, you're so good at PR and communication and stuff like that. And I'd say, well, you know, I'm a trained Scientologist, you know, and that's what I always thought until I realized one day, no, not really. Like Laurel Sullivan, who was the PR for L. Ron Hubbard, I asked her, I said, how come when OSA sends out the critics to handle them, they never leave? And when they'd send me out, I'd often get them to leave.
This is very true. This is historically correct, what she was doing, where you know why? Because she would actually communicate with them and find out what was up. And she says something very interesting.
And I said, what's up there? And she looked at me and she goes, you were never trained in the PR tech, were you? The L. Ron Hubbard PR tech. And I said, no, I was. And that's when I thought, really, everything I know is from my parents. That's really all the successful stuff I have is from that.
So isn't that interesting? Because it got me thinking, as somebody who grew up in Scientology, right? I have often wondered, like, okay, what is me? What is Scientology indoctrination? I've sorted a lot of that out, but what is Scientology training? Because if I'm good at this, is it because of, you know, just like all the questions about it. And as Tori mentions, John Travolta, she feels, had that talent that it really didn't have anything to do with Scientology. And I think that's kind of a common thing, even with Tori, her skills in public relations and working with protesters and actually diffusing situations was not due to being trained in L. Ron Hubbard PR tech. You know, she wasn't like closing blinds and throwing water on people. She was communicating and having conversations, and she attributes that to the upbringing from her parents. So I have decided I'm fabulous, not because of Scientology, just because. It's not something I've spent a lot of time thinking about, but I've, you know, when you're raised in it, sometimes it's like, how do you differentiate? There are things that I have said this in Scientology that I'm like, oh, that's helpful. That's a good idea. And then upon leaving Scientology, I find out that good idea, those things that I found helpful in Scientology exist in other places. And the kicker, for free, people, reading a book, right? Oh, Blows my mind still. Blows my mind. Thank you, Dr. Who Heather. You're fabulous in spite of Scientology. That is a much more succinct way of saying things about, like, even John Travolta, different people who've done well in Scientology. What Scientology does is, if you're doing well in life as a Scientologist, they indoctrinate you to believe that it is because of Scientology. You're great at this because of that training you did in Scientology, because you sat there and yelled at an ashtray for 2 hours. You are an excellent communicator in life. No, that is total BS. No. But if your life is not going well, if you've been, I don't know, arrested, or, whatever shenanigans you got going on that Scientology is not down with, they're like, oh, it's you. You're out ethics. You're out something. Then it's your fault. So good, Scientology will take responsibility for it. Less than good, oh, suddenly it's the individual's fault. Just a little bit of Scientology math for you there. Let's get into these uniforms. We talked about this yesterday. We watch these protest videos and the live streaming outside of Scientology organizations all over the world. And what is a continuous thing we see? These bizarre uniforms, which are some cross between flight attendant, waiter, and parking attendant, just all put into one. Like, who did not think this through? It is so weird. Well, I asked and you guys answered, because I was like, does anyone have the backstory? Because I cannot remember to save my life what the deal was with these uniforms. So we got a couple things to look at here about that. This is an article out of New York back in the day, which was called Beyond Weird, Scientology's New Uniforms. Now, this was back in 2009, right? When they started this whole ideal organization scam to get members to buy all these new buildings and pay for all these renovations and let them sit empty and become venues for other organizations that might actually be trying to help people. Then, to add insult to injury, they stuck the staff members in these horrific uniforms that we see that are very ill-fitting. Well, as it turns out, this wasn't the first time this person made ill-fitting uniforms. So this goes on to say, we're not sure what's weirder, the fact that Scientology's new, quote, ideal org churches come with chic black and red uniforms, or the fact that Richard Tyler designed them. Yes, the very same Richard Tyler of the allegedly, quote, too small Delta uniforms. Maybe this guy should be steering clear of uniforms altogether at this point. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a picture because there wasn't one with the article. But the article does talk about the capes. Do you guys remember, if you were here yesterday, show of hands, we were talking about the fact that Scientology uniforms once had a cape, and we do not now see the capes. So, goes on to say, Gawker stumbled upon this ultra creepy Scientology advertisement for their Ideal Org initiative. And in international Scientology news, we're not asking how they got their hands on a copy, and managed to scan it in all its mind-bending glory. First of all, there are the capes, lined in scarlet, which give off a certain witchy vibe. Who would add capes to any situation involving Scientology? Tyler, you lost your touch. And the overall red and black palette has the same hellish vibe that because most fashion editors to critique Michelle Obama's Inauguration Day outfit. And then there's the whole idea that these uniforms are somehow meant to convey that you will be emissaries of a new civilization. With those vests, we don't think so. So I thought that was interesting. It got called out way back, right? Thank goodness they didn't move forward with the capes. And I do believe that they even changed the colors. But, ooh, yeah, I wonder, Handmaid's Tale capes. Little too close, isn't it? Interesting. Holy Hogwarts with the capes. They weren't even that great. They weren't even like Harry Potter worthy capes. So, also back in the Wayback Time Machine, not that way back though. I think this video is from like 8 months ago. We're going to look at a clip from Blown for Good where Claire Headley interviewed Karen Pressley, who was in the Sea Organization up at International Management. Karen Pressley wrote a book about her experience in the Sea Org and Scientology. Nancy, if you can do me a favor and throw that title up in the chat, because I don't know what it is. And I couldn't remember if I read it or not, but point being, she had some info about these uniforms and the thought process behind it that she shared in this interview that she did with Claire about 8 months ago. Take a look.
Except we did it in a navy blue gabardine and then we embroidered on it.
Yes,
And then-
and didn't it have the person's name on one side and an RTC on the other? Do I remember that correctly? Okay.
Yeah, it did. And so I wanted to ask you, after I designed those RTC jackets, did you ever hear Shelley or Dave comment on that product or like the look of it and how it fit in with their plan for transforming the look of COB's office or RTC?
Not specifically, though I know that both Dave and Shelley were both very much about appearances. You know, like there's the Hubbard policy that says they will know us by our MEST, which.
And MEST is matter, energy, space, and time, your physical things in the physical universe. And L. Ron Hubbard did say that basically people will think well of you if you have very nice things that you put forth, which is probably the inspiration for these giant ideal organization buildings that sit empty. Now that I think about it,
you know, translate that to the people in civilians in the outside world will recognize our power and our strength by the quality of our belongings and our buildings and our clothing and how we present. So they were both always very much like sharp, presentable, you know, a lot of focus on that. And I do remember the uniforms that you're talking about that were fashioned after the English patient. Of course, I had no idea that that's what they were fashioned after. But the interesting piece to me is to know that that was Shelley's direction.
Isn't that interesting? So for some of this, we have Shelley Miscavige to blame. Yeah, they got rid of the cape. I don't know when. I don't know if it was just blowback or they just were like, you know what? Maybe now thinking about it, the cape is not the best thing ever. I don't know. It is just funny. Also, what was funny, did you guys catch the STEEBEE WEEBEE show here on YouTube? Who was a guest on STEEBEE WEEBEE the other day? None other than PEARLSNAPPY when she was in
How do you get the status there?
When she was in town in Los Angeles, she went on the STEEBEE WEEBEE show, and it just came out the other day. PEARLSNAPPY you'll normally catch in Austin protesting Scientology. Let's pop in here and listen to a little bit of this interview.
There by connecting the most people, by getting the most dirt on people, by paying the most money to get to where you need to be. And that's exactly how you succeed in Scientology. They snitch on one another. It's like the KGB up in there.
Their cameras, they
everything.
Document everything. They're recording
yes.
everything.
When you're being audited, when you're having that one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, Laura
with your
brought that
auditor.
up.
Yeah, there's somebody in your ear telling the auditor what to say and what to ask to the pre-clear, who's the person who's being audited. So that there's already somebody, so they're listening. Plus it's being audio and video recorded, often without the knowledge of the person who is receiving the counseling.
Well, what's the incentive of being like a life
Black
member? Like,
male.
what's the incentive? I'm just
They
confused.
they blackmail you.
You can't get rich off that.
They blackmail you with all the things that you confess to. And they also, because if your needle isn't floating when you give confessions, you might have to do like a whole, like all of your lifetimes and make things up, right?
That is true. If your needle is not floating on the Scientology e-meter, which is their religious tool, where you hold on to these cans and they say a small electrical current runs through your body and it measures resistance, energy, resistance. And on the dial of the e-meter, the needle does different patterns and things. And then in Scientology, you learn what that means. What does it mean when the needle's floating? Good. When the needle's doing that, bad. That person has overts and withholds, that they need to be pulled. And she is correct. During these Scientology interrogation, security checks, confessionals that are done, everything is written down, also recorded by hidden cameras that the person receiving the auditing is never told about, does not know about in the vast majority of cases. And this information is then kept. And later on, should this person step out of pocket, get out of line, express some doubts, or God forbid, actually try to leave, they go, let's see here. Well, Joe, right here says that, let's see. So you stepped out on your wife 10 years ago and blah, 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 whatever. They will just remind the person of these things. And that's their way of like, hey, if you don't want this coming out, you better get back in line. You better toe the line. You better hip, hip, hooray to the Elron Hubbard or David Miscavige, who's now kind of taken his place. But she's dead right. She nailed it. She's so right about that. Let's take a look at MD Media 18, who is over out in Pasadena. And in Los Angeles, too, we see him around the blue buildings, getting out a lot of flyers all over town. Now, this is what it looks like when you ruin the day of a Scientology recruiter who thinks he's going to go out and have a good time, and he's going to go out there and he's going to get out those little pamphlets and flyers and maybe get some people to come in and watch that movie. He has pumped himself up. He has done drills with his senior on how to do it. He is going to go out there and he is going to conquer and get people into Scientology. So he steps outside and then this happens. So right there he is. I got my flyers. I'm cool. I'm playing it cool. Looking around. Don't see anybody. All right, good. I don't see those protesters. I'm going to just chill. Here, take one. Come on in. No. All right, cool. Next one. Next one. It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. I'm good. I'm going to get my stats up. You know what? Maybe I can get an hour off. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, damn. Oh, man. Now I got to go back inside. What in the world? MD Media 18 just ruined that man's day. Ruined it. Ruined it. He cannot go in and recruit for Scientology, which is the goal. Let's stop people from getting into Scientology in the first place. That is much easier than trying to get them out and deprogram and all of the things. Trust me on that one. Though I still want to get people out and help them deprogram and do all the things. But it's like, you know what? It's easier to not eat an entire bag of cookies than it is to go to the gym and work it off. It's that similar kind of thing. But yeah. All right, let's go over to Elron Hubbard Way, where Solomon was out there. I have not seen him in a little while. Doesn't mean he hasn't been around, because remember, just because I don't see it, it doesn't mean that it did not happen. I was looking at his stream, and he's got we got a little clip here of where, and you know, if you know Solomon, he's what is he, 16, 17-year-old kid, little cutie patootie, just going about his business, very non-threatening. But he runs into this one Scientologist, and this woman breaks into what for her could be a sprint. I mean, check this out. Oh, he was in Hawaii. Awesome. Awesome.
You know Scientology's a cult, right? You know this place is a cult, right?
He says the C word and boom, boom, boom. She's like taking it.
The SP Foundation can help you if you want to leave the Sea Org or the Church of Scientology.
Here's what kind of amazed me about that. Just like, you know, she was like, oh, like really sped up. Like, I don't know, maybe she was told that these protesters, these squirrels, as Scientology calls them, because they alter Elron Hubbard's technology, basically because they tell you the clear cognition and try to save you about $100,000 and let you know about Xenu and body things. Really, to me, that's a public service right there, right? They're helping out. They're doing their part. She might have heard that they might be yelling squirrel technology, and you don't want to mess up your case. In Scientology, your reactive mind. And then when you stop mocking that up and you're going to do the upper levels, with, you know, getting rid of your body thetans, they refer to it as your case. All of it is your case. You're always auditing your case in Scientology. Your case is the source of all your BS and stuff that's wrong with you. And Scientologists have to pay money to handle their case. And if they hear or see things that are contrary to what Elron Hubbard is saying, or that they're not yet ready for, they believe that, you know, it's going to mess up their case. So they take off. But I swear, this is the first time I've seen somebody kind of like run. You know, granted, it was a little bit more of a trot, but that's running. For me, that would be running. I am not a runner. If you see me running, I am being chased more than likely, or there is an ice cream truck about to take off, and I'm trying to catch up to it. Otherwise, there's not a lot of running happening over here. So that one really stuck out to me. Now, over on Hollywood Boulevard, Dan Walks LA was out there, and lo and behold, who does he see? Is that Tom Cruise? Is that Tom Cruise across the street watching Dan Walks LA? Let's take a look.
Oh my, I'm dead. I'm dead. I love your center tooth. I'm gonna go visit my friend Davey. This is horrifying. Are you here to visit Davey?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's do you need an
sexy
escort?
time with Davey.
Let's go to Davey's.
I didn't poke the eyes out, so I
I thought that was great. And, you know, always the funniest things too with like Dan's videos is it's the laugh. It's the laughter that he and Mindy Willens have and other people as well. I just love it. And Astroflux, you're right. OMFG, my nightmares. Yeah. Can you imagine? That is a nightmare. You're laying in bed. You're having some really good dreams about, I don't know, Jason Momoa. Not that I've ever had those. And you look up and there's Tom Cruise. That would be a nightmare. That really would be. It would. All right. Now, I don't think that this is something out of nightmares, but over in front of the Hollywood Testing Center for the Scientology, this is also from Dan Walks LA. A Peapod, minding her own business, just trying to get in there and learn more about her personality. Maybe she wanted to get a personality test. Maybe she wanted to see the Dianetics film and, I don't know, just better herself in some way. But as we know, the Hollywood Testing Center has been on lockdown, despite the fact, let's talk about this for a moment, little sidebar. It got shut down months ago, right? With the live streamers and protesters. Originally, William Good was there and kind of kicked this whole thing off. And Jessica Palmadessa was there and Confident Chris and so many others. And they continue to protest Scientology in other spaces, sometimes back there, sometimes at the Blue Building and so on. Scientology at one point told their members, because we had a leaked email about it. What did they say? They said they were going to have a new grand opening of the testing center. Did I miss it? Does anyone know? Did I miss it? Did I? Because I don't know that happened. In one of the leaked emails to Diane, our favorite Scientology spy, also known here on YouTube as More Fun Than Sitting at Home, that's her channel, leaked a bunch of emails to us before Scientology got hip to the fact that she had come on this channel a couple times talking smack about Scientology and sharing their emails. But one of them was about how there was going to be a reopening. It just did not happen. Did not happen. But they're still there. And little Peapod, just trying to figure it out, stumbles upon Dan Walks LA and tries to go in. Let's see what happens.
You can do it. You can do it.
let me in. They locked it.
Did they just lock it?
Yeah.
Even the right side? What the hell?
I don't know what's happening.
Damn, cult be acting weird today, you guys.
Cult be cultin'. I don't know why they won't let a Peapod in. What is wrong with the Peapod Scientology? Here's the thing. Do you guys remember back in the day, we saw a clip where, was it Shannon who sits at security and there was like a guy under her desk and it was really weird because it was like, what is he doing under there? I think he was installing cameras so that she could see because they have the cameras outside. The receptionist does not need to be able to see out the door or open the door to know who is there. She can just look down under the desk, see the cameras, and then go ahead and lock the door. Because you got to lock out those Peapods. Maybe she has an aversion to vegetables. I don't know. Although a Peapod, is that a bean or a veg? I don't know. Anyways, whatever it is, they weren't having it. They weren't. So all are welcome. Not so much. Not if you're trying to have any fun at all, then you are not welcome. You are not. All right, let's go over to LARA FM stream. LARA FM was outside the Blue Buildings and she shared some very wise words. And we are going to take a look at a little clip from that.
It's not about the angle, it's about the adventure for now. Because this is history. Look, it's not even just about Scientology. When we take them down, we're going to be able to expose many other corrupt, pedophilic, child abuse, enslavement, this mind control. It's not about the angle, it's about the adventure for now.
I love that because I talk about that here too on the channel that, hey, we talk a lot about Scientology. My ultimate goal, I want to share about other cults as well. But right now there's so much going on with Scientology. I just don't have the time or the bandwidth, but want to, absolutely want to. And the more we expose Scientology and the tactics that they use as a cult, the more it educates everybody who watches this content, because even if it's not Scientology that they encounter, they might recognize the tactics and go, wait a minute. This sounds like Scientology. It's not. This must be a different cult. And it'll hopefully help them never fall into that either. Because the way people will try to take advantage of other people, when you're a cult, because that's kind of what you do. And I love this, Jovi girl. All we're saying is give peas a chance. Oh, I'm dying. Marina, I agree. Love LARA so much. She's been through so much and just still has just a big heart. Big heart. Love LARA. You guys do too. Absolutely. You can't appease everyone. Okay, Blue Nona says peas are legumes. They're beans. All right, so moving on, let's go to, where was this? Denver. OOP Media has been out there holding down the fort since Jay Denver's not been in there, Jay Osa, here on YouTube. And outside Denver org, and this guy comes up, and people there, they're here for it. They are totally here for ending Scientology. The neighbors. Scientology, this is what your neighbors and people nearby think. And you can see how, in fact, you know what? Let's wake up Osa. Osa, shh. Wake up. Okay. This is an example of what people think about Scientology and showing their support for the protesters. They want to take pictures with them. They know what's up. So, this is just a little bit more reinforcement that the group that you're working for and taking action and doing things for is going boop, 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 not straight up and vertical, but actually going down. And you still have an opportunity to live your life depending, no matter what your age is. It is never too late to start over. There are people out here who would help you get that done and do that. I make a lot of fun of you. I throw shade at you, but as individuals, I would totally be here for you because I was there. I volunteered and did things for OSA in my time, and I was able to leave and find life after a cult, and it is a lot better. So keep an eye, watch this clip. Afterwards, you can go right back to sleep because I know you guys are overworked, and I don't like to wake you up unless it's really important. But take a look at this clip.
Yeah, sure. You want to take it in front of the cult?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, it'd be more pointed, right?
Yeah, it's a better picture. Yeah.
Thanks for coming out here.
Oh, yeah. I like your shoes.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
If I had a car, I'd be honking.
Cool. Yeah, beep, beep. It's a cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah, just use your vocal cords. That's what I do. I annoy him all day. Yeah. I got the entrances marked over there as well. Yeah. Yeah, check out SPTV on YouTube. We're a network of activists. We got a lot of YouTube channels. We kind of go all over and a lot of.
Just so great. Just sharing what's up. Guy just wants to come and take a picture. I think it's absolutely fabulous. It happens over and over and over again. And then you get the people who are just trolling Scientology, tourists who want to take pictures. Very ironically, not because they think Scientology is great. It's like pulling up in front of, I don't know, a house that maybe Charles Manson used to live in or something like that. It's morbid. It's morbid Scientology. They're not there because they want to frame a picture of themselves in front of the Scientology building. No, they're making fun of it. Hey, Becky. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's see. I think I saw Kelly Copter zoom by too, which, by the way, people, today at 1:30 Central Time. Kelly Copter and I are going to sit down and we are going to do a live stream together, and we are going to talk about a day in the life of a Sea Org member. What are they so busy doing? What are they doing? Why do they have to stay up so late? Why the sleep deprivation? What's really going on? Kelly Copter and I are going to sit down and do that 1:30 my time today. Yes, I'm so excited. And then Kelly Copter and I have a date afterwards to get caught up because, yeah, I miss you. It's been so long since Clearwater. It feels like a lifetime ago. So I'm glad we'll be able to do that today. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, there is a Scientologist going around threatening to run down protesters with her car. This lady was next level. She is just screaming to have somebody take away her license. I mean, you just cannot do that. You cannot threaten to run somebody down with your car. I keep being told this. Yeah, you can't. So Elron Li is over there in St. Louis doing his thing, protesting Scientology. I just remembered. Remember to hit that like button, y'all. Whoever has not hit the like button, right? Go hit like. Do it for OSA. It'll help wake them up. So Elron Li is over there outside of St. Louis Scientology, minding his business, doing his protesting. And you are not going to believe what this woman does. Hold on. And do I have it queued up? I do. Watch this. That's not the road, people. You're going to see when the camera goes down, she's like coming right up on the curb where he was, threatening to run him down by her actions.
You're gonna hit me? Come on. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Come on. Keep it coming.
She'd have to run over the curb to actually hit him, but she was threatening, and it just gets better.
Keep it coming. Come on, hit me. Bring it. Then you're gonna be out even more money because you already spend a fortune in Scientology. Yeah, see, he doesn't like Scientology. He knows what's up. Winnie Burbrick, she knows what's up. She's a prisoner here. You know who Winnie is? She got married at the new organization building that Scientology bought in 2007. It's still sitting here, not being rehabbed with a for sale sign on it. Where did all that fundraising money go that Chad and Matt Hansis raised?
She says so. She's like, it's hard for you to talk with your head up your ass. I'll give her points for being spunky, right? She's one spunky lady.
Winnie, you can leave Scientology. I can help you, Winnie. That first lady said, it's hard for you to talk with your head up your ass.
I mean, it's wrong. Do not get me wrong. It is wrong what she was doing. That is so not okay. I just find it so funny because she's this older lady, right? Like, I don't know. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Tawanda. You remember? What was the name of that movie? Fried Green Tomatoes? Tell me in the chat. Do you remember Fried Green Tomatoes? Does it remind you of that one scene where Kathy Bates goes and rams into those cars because those girls stole her parking space? And if you are catching this on the replay in the comments, I want to hear from you too. It really gave Tawanda, which again, I am not supporting this. It's wrong what she did. It's just funny. And Elron Li seemed to have a sense of humor about it, but it is not okay. But again, yes, that, you know what, stroke of genius, that is the thing. That is the thing that I think got me was it's a little sass. It's a little sass, and I give her credit for that. I was surprised when I saw, you know, that it was this older woman. It just, I don't know, it just struck me. It struck me. Okay, so let's take a look at in Austin. Did you guys hear what happened to Miss Kim? Miss Kim was out in Austin protesting, doing her live stream, and there was someone who, it sounds like she knew him before. He had been around, a gentleman who might be on something or needs to be on something, but either way you cut it, appeared to be having a mental health crisis of some type. He was bothering her, and then she stopped her stream to call the police. And we're going to take a look at a recap she did sharing what had happened. And it really shook her, and it should. And I get why it would, because that's kind of dangerous. And another good reminder that if you can protest not alone, that's your first choice, because it's not just Scientology shenanigans, right? It's just depending on the city where you are. Sometimes there are other things at play. And I think that's what she ran into. But let's take a look at Miss Kim sharing what happened.
Aggressive with him, but I think he decided he didn't want to deal with both of us or him, a man. He wanted to mess with him, you know, or whatever. So he went down the sidewalk and went into 2 other businesses. I couldn't tell which one, and came back out. Then he decided to go into traffic right back there by that light, just this side of the light, and stop both lanes of traffic, and was gesturing. And then he ended up over there sitting on the wall when they showed up. So they showed up, he was sitting on the wall, but when they tried to deal with him, he got non-compliant and aggressive. So he laid on the ground and was throwing himself around, and they ended up having 2 cop cars and a UT, I think it was UT police, and then the APD showed. It took 3 officers to get him cuffed and in the car. It's okay.
Yeah, that was intense. It was. If you were catching it live, or I caught it on the replay, I was a bit behind, but I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Is Miss Kim okay? But yeah, if you can, try not to protest alone. Absolutely. Someone made a comment too about that earlier clip. What was it? DJ Nico, always amazed. Nah, that was typical Karen behavior. It'd be, I just think it would be funny if somebody stitched together a thing of Scientology Karens. I think it'd be funny. I know I would like it. Maybe somebody could just do it and send it to me. Put it up on a channel. Email it to Natalie@lifeafteroccult.com, which is where you should be emailing all of your articles, links, clips. Give me timestamps. Tell me what I'm looking at. Tell me what, has your interest in regard to Scientology, because that's what we're going to talk about. MZ Janie, I was scared for her too. I was. She handled it well. Miss Kim had me when on one of her first videos that I had seen, she was walking away and she said something like, yeah, I have to leave my weapons at home. Because, you don't want to be protesting Scientology and have weapons on you, because they will use that against you. So there's a line to walk there, but protesting with buddies, I think, is definitely a good idea. Now, I want to take a look. We're going to introduce you guys to a couple of new Danish channels. This one is new to me. I had not seen it before and just discovered it, and it's interesting. So this is Elron Hub Cult. And I do believe, if I get this wrong, tell me in the chat, tell me in the comments. I think he's an ex-Sea Org person, and he is going to be sharing his story and talking more about it. And so we want to show him some love. Check it out.
Why now? I felt so alone in Denmark because I did not know anybody but Scientologist, Sea Org member or Scientologist. I don't know any other ex-Sea Org members, nobody. So when this SPTV phenomenon started to go around the world, then I was kind of waiting for somebody to show up in Denmark. I was ready. I just did not know what to do, how to do, etc. And then finally, Scientology up north showed up. And of course, I subscribed her, etc., and reached out to her. And then we met. We made some videos together. And then why now? I felt so alone in Denmark because I did not know anybody but.
Right there alone. It's like I want to say now, you are not alone. You have me, you have Kelly Copter, you have everybody here. We want to hear your story. I reached out by email. I'd like to sit down and do an interview and find out more. And I'm really happy to hear too that Scientology up north that they've done videos together, they've done things together, and we've shared content from Scientology up north, and we're also just about to look at another clip as well. But get over there and give him some love, give him a follow, give him a like. He's got a couple of videos going. I'm glad you guys subbed, but he is not alone. I get that feeling, I really do. It's huge, you guys, to leave that environment of Scientology, and you're happy to leave and be gone, but if it's the only group you've had, and maybe you have family there, but they were your people, or you're somewhat like your family, at least that's what you thought, and then have nobody and not as many people, is really difficult to deal with. So as a community, of course, I want to be there for everybody as much as we can. So please do go check them out. In the meantime, we're going to look at a clip from Scientology Up North where they share a story I had not heard, which is about how a Scientology chef burned down the hotel kitchen and got kicked out of the Sea Org. So believe it or not, people do get kicked out of the Sea Org. It's funny because sometimes some of us work so hard to get out of there and leave. And then other people are like, not kicked out in the way that like Scientology will tell you that I was kicked out. I left Scientology. I broke up with you. You then excommunicated me and declared me a suppressive person. But I broke up with you. Let's remember that. But sometimes people actually get kicked out of Scientology. And I always wonder, like, what do you have to do, right? As desperate as they are for people, what do you have to do to get kicked out of Scientology? Well, one of the things that you can do is burn down the kitchen. Check this out.
Norland. Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the most central streets in Copenhagen. So I would not be surprised if like property like this is like 200 million Danish kroner. Yeah, because there was a fire, right?
There was a fire, yes.
Yes. Do you have...
The old cook made a mistake.
Yeah.
And the kitchen got burned out.
Okay, so it was the Scientology cook that yeah.
After that, he needed to leave the Sea Org. And now he's a public Scientologist.
Okay.
And the first look.
He is a public Scientologist, though. That's the interesting part, because to be a public Scientologist in good standing, that means you would have to pay off your freeloader debt. I wonder who that is. Cece, what did you do to get kicked out of the Sea Org? If you can say it publicly. If not, girl, you know my email. Hit me up. This I got to hear. Maybe you told me and I'm sorry, but I don't remember that, though. I don't remember that. Yeah. So anyways, moving on. Interesting nonetheless. I'm glad that there are things happening there in Denmark, and I know we can show them love. And remember, you can go to sptv.space. You will find a website listing a multitude of streamers in different countries, in different states, who are protesting, live streaming Scientology, because maybe there's a city you want to go out and you want to start, but you don't want to go alone. You want to connect with some other people. You can do that. Or you just want to watch it and show support for that city, town, country, whatever it might be. sptv.space, and you can see who is live at any given time. It's just a great resource. Fluffer Squirrel UK, thank you for doing that. Z News as well, XE News, Z News has been key in making this happen. And I know I appreciate it a ton. Mena, how dare visitors turn up in the middle of Natalie time? What is up with that? You let them know. This is Natalie time. Okay. You guys, Oh No Nora did this video yesterday. It's funny because sometimes I feel like it's a secret. Like I should be going, okay, you guys, like, Oh No Nora. But I'm like, who's listening? I'm free now. I can openly talk about Scientology and it doesn't care who hears me. I used to sneak down into my basement with my laptop before I officially left Scientology when I was under the radar and go to anti-Scientology websites and secretly read in the basement like I was down there going through porn or something. I'd clear my history and everything because my husband at the time didn't know. And sometimes that still kind of kicks in a little bit. And I got to remember, like, no, I'm talking to a ton of people right now about Scientology. No secrets here. Winston, that's true. The only way to come off the address list is to become a suppressive person. Yeah. They don't take any but people off for anything. All right. Anyways, back to Nora. Oh No Nora did a video yesterday about Laura Prepon. You guys know Laura Prepon? She was on That 70s Show with Danny Masterson. She was in Orange is the New Black, which I think is one of the best things that she did. If any of you saw that show, let me know in the comments and in the chat. Anyways, she left Scientology, but quietly just some time ago. So Nora did this video about, like, is Laura Prepon on motherhood, sharing her truth and her decision to leave Scientology. People magazine did this article, and Nora gives her take on it, which is so great. We're going to take a little peek at it and see what Nora had to say.
She left in 2016, and then what year did Katie Holmes leave, guys? She left in 2012. So 4 years after Katie left. No, oh my God, I'm getting ads. I'm sorry, I'm not subscribed to People Magazine, guys, but I do love Blake and Ryan. Okay. So she left in 2016, 4 years after Katie. Okay. And do you think maybe she saw what happened with Suri, what happened to Katie and Suri, and was like, I'm about to have baby. Peace out.
I think so. Children, when you have children in Scientology, for some, that is a bit of a wake-up call. And that, and we saw that happen with Katie Holmes. When Suri started getting close to the age where she would start her Scientology indoctrination, what happened? Katie Holmes got the heck out of there, fired her security team, hired her own with the help of her dad, got her and that kid out of there, and made like a banana and split. Got out of there. Bye-bye, Tom Cruise. Bye. She was out. And it sounds like it's possible that Laura Prepon might have kind of gone that route too. Now, I would love to see her speak out and share about Scientology. I just really, a lot of celebrities will leave Scientology and not talk about it. Leah Remini has, Jason Begay has. Jason Begay hasn't in quite some time. God, I'd love to talk to him too. But he did, when he first left, he did multiple videos about Scientology. And he's got that show out too that's really popular. I don't watch a lot of network television, so I'm not up on it. But if somebody remembers the show that Jason Begay is in, can you put it in the chat or in the comments? It has something to do with fire or police. But I know that it's a popular show. So it's interesting that, this People Magazine article and Laura Prepon doing more things on, I think, social media, that especially if you're doing social media and you're putting yourself out there, that kind of like you're opening the door, you're going to get asked about Scientology. And I think you should answer, especially on social media. It's one thing if you're, I am an actor and I'm just going to do my stuff and live my life privately. But I'm like, well, if you put yourself on social media, though, that's like you're connecting with people. And maybe she's just waiting for us to ask her. Right? And, if we ask in a nice way. So if you follow her on social media, I need to go find out. I know she's on the Instagram. What if we just ask her nicely, hey, we'd love to hear about your Scientology experience. What happened? Are you aware of the movement of people, raising the alarm and educating people on Scientology? Nothing hateful. Make it safe for her to come out and share. I feel like we should do that. So if you're on Instagram, I don't know what her handle is. If anybody knows, put it in the chat or in the comments. But let's ask her, what is life like after Scientology? I would love to talk to her and hear her story. That's why I need to grow my channel to be a lot larger so that hopefully people like Laura Prepon, when they want to tell their story, will go, you know what? I'm talking to that Natalie over at Scientology Life After a Cult, because I want to share my life after a cult story. That is my dream. That is my dream. So we work hard here at growing the channel. So be sure you hit that subscribe button so you can help. You guys help us do that all the time. Chicago PD. That's it. That's right. He is handsome. He's got that kind of rugged handsomeness, but I would agree with that. All right, you guys, we're going to talk about a little bit of Real Housewives and Rebecca Minkov. So her cast member, her people, that she's working with on the show? No surprise. Surprise, big surprise. No, already throwing shade at this girl, but there's something I think they don't know or realize about what's going on. And I'm going to tell them. Well, I'm saying it here, but maybe somebody can clip it and send it to them. This is the deal of what's happening with her. First, let's take a look at this. This is page 6, Real Housewife of New York star. I think you pronounce that I'm not sure. De Silva gets caught on hot mic slamming boring co-star Rebecca Minkov. So De Silva was doing an interview. And it says the content creator, 43. I love, like, why you always got to be telling everybody's age? Do they do that with men too? The content creator, 43, was caught bashing her new co-star on a hot mic during an interview with Jeff Lewis on Sirius XM radio. And so here's what she said, which really wasn't even that bad, but I get the point. She's nice. She's really, really nice, but she's kind of boring, to be honest. De Silva told a mystery woman sitting next to her. She's too nice for the show. She's going to just get taken down, the woman said, to which Silva responded. The cast's trying to take her down, but she's unresponsive. That is the point right there that we are going to hyper focus on. She is unresponsive. Let me tell you a little bit about that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Winston Smith, thank you so much for gifting 50. Holy moly. Life After a Cult memberships. That is amazing. Growing the channel. Mwah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that support. Then making it rain in the chat. And even I love seeing it just light up green all the way as people get memberships. Thank you so much for doing that. You are a big support of the channel and I appreciate it. Thank you. Mahalo. Okay, but back to this Real Housewives gossip. So she's all, like, hey, she's unresponsive. She's kind of boring. Like, she's not taking the bait. You guys have watched this channel and followed the whole Scientology stuff to understand why she's not taking the bait. Her training routines are in, her TRs, right? So here's the thing, Rebecca Minkov, or anybody close to her, if you want to make it on the show, you got to bring the drama. You can't just sit there with your TRs and robotically take it and just be like, oh, okay, thank you. Look at my handbag. Thank you. Touch my handbag. Thank you. Turn around. Thank you. You cannot just be doing that. You need to pick up what they are putting down. This is reality TV. This is entertainment. And girl, I need you to make it on this show. Because all of the Scientology abuses, including the ones your father was involved in, will follow and come out. We need her to be on this show. I need this, people. I need this side entertainment right now. So what is up with that? What is up with that? Let's see what else it says here. So yeah, she's nice, but she's boring. De Silva said, Real Housewives of New York newcomer Rebecca Minkov is too nice for the Bravo show. This is just up close photos of her. This thing went all over Twitter. It was sent all over the place. Bravo Babe covered it. It's like a whole thing. So, Rebecca Minkov, we need you to up your game. Bring it. You've got a lot. You don't even need to start with Scientology. And I really hope somebody brings up Scientology. They can just do what they want. But yeah, it's what's the deal? Joris says reality shows don't want someone who's calm, cool, and collected. They want a hothead that's going to cause drama. She has to throw out whatever she learned from Scientology out the window to make it. Yes, she does. But do you see how it's so interesting that that whole Scientology robotic training is messing things up for her? Because she needs to bring the drama. You can react and engage too. Doesn't mean that like you're internally taking it on, right? It's, reality television, but bring it, Rebecca. We are counting on you because so many in the Bravo-verse will learn about the abuses of Scientology by you being on that show. So I really need this to happen. Yeah, give somebody a touch assist. Like do something. Respond. You got to be interactive. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. If you guys see any stuff about that too, please do tell me. Please do tell me. Tell me about, send me links to articles, clips, anything like that. I love that you guys do that. It helps me so much. 2 sandwiches tall. If she's too nice for the show, let's interpolate her by showing up at filming locations. That's a great idea. Right? There, you know what? We need to connect with some serious fans of this show. If somebody knows of another content creator here on YouTube who would I would like to reach out to and have a conversation about this whole Rebecca Minkov thing, who covers the Bravo stuff, Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com, especially if you have an in with that person who, you know, I want to have a conversation about it and maybe give them some insight, and maybe we can help this thing along, do a little public service here, right? Do some good and help this thing along. Okay, one last thing I want to show you here. This got sent to me. When we talk about children and babies in Scientology, getting Scientology auditing, I want to share something with you. I put this on my community page, and this is right. Yep, it is on my community page. Okay. This is right from the mouth of L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard, Babies and Children. The processing of children should be limited to Scientology processes, not NED or Book 1 during the early years of life. Now, NED is New Era Dianetics. Book 1 is the book Dianetics. So he's basically saying you shouldn't be running engrams on babies and children. Oh, that's nice of you, Mr. Hubbard. Let's not do that to them. But there are many processes that can be run on children, including extremely simple ones, which do not require the PC. That's the pre-clear. That's the person receiving the auditing, not requiring the PC to have much of a vocabulary. Children should be run on Scientology processing until they are old enough to express themselves clearly in spoken communication and understand formal auditing questions. With diligent application of this tech, you can accurately program the case of any Thetan. I find that wording to be very interesting. Program the case of any Thetan. Sounds to me like Elron Hubbard's outright saying, hey, here's how to start programming your kids with Scientology. Now, when they're babies, use these Scientology processing. When they can start to formulate words, you can program by using these Scientology processing. Then when they really get their vocabulary going, let's really get them doing some cult stuff. Let's do that. Yeah, Lily, they're never going to let children be children. That is just not a belief at all, because in Scientology, it is promoted that children are just big beings in little bodies, which is such just complete and utter BS. It really is. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. All right. So couple things. Kelly Copter and I will be live together today, 1:30 Central Time. So for you California folks, that's what, take away 2 hours. You got to figure out your time zones, but I did a notification, so your time should be showing up on that. I hope you guys can join for that. And what we should do, let's, on your way out, you guys, let's head over to, it looks like Marilyn Honig is live over at Coffee Cult and Crafts. Do we see her here? Let's get a little caught up here on the liveness.
This part of this documentary, which was one of my favorite culty documentaries.
So Marilyn is over there live. So everybody head on over there and give Marilyn some love. Let's do a Natalie raid and raid it up. She's here early in the morning. I guess it's not that early now, but let's go over and do that. And before you head over, I want to say Heidi Hellman, thank you so much for becoming a new member of the channel, and Patty Thurber too. If I didn't catch you, thank you hugely for becoming a member of the channel. But like I was saying, get over there and show Marilyn some love. What is she talking about today? Catching up. What's going on? That's awesome. Show her some love. Let's Natalie Raider. Let's let me get that. Let me do my housekeeping here. All right. So I will see you back this afternoon, 1:30 my time. In the meantime, everybody, go raid Marilyn and get out there and have the most amazing cult-free day. Where's my clicker? Where's my thing?